I mean, being out in the elements for me, until I finish my investigation on these local officials here that pretty much have their corruption going. Last night it was a circus. One time, when Obama was in office, I let him, you know, see the fact that I, can do some things with, my psychic telepathy and, clairvoyant. But, he called me a carnival act. He called me a carnival act, and I'm saying, I had to startle him and show him that I'm not a carnival act. This is not a carnival act that what I do. This is real. I had to show him that. But it shocked him and it scared him, but still I had to let him know because I'm not a carnival act. If I'm a carnival act, then you're a circus. This is all I'm trying to tell you. Uh, because from last night's activity, I mean, the fireworks. That's the only thing about the 4th of July that I really kind of you know like is the fireworks. And it's not because of no significant reason. Like the 4th of July. It's not nothing like that. It's just that I like the fireworks. I mean, it's pretty fireworks. But even for amateur fireworks, in the neighborhood, they did pretty good because everybody, that's one thing the guys, like to do. They like to light out fireworks, boom, what I'm saying, I can understand it, explosions and different things like that. Because when I watch movies, I like movies with a lot of action like that. And if it's no blowing up or nothing like that, it ain't no fun. But watching the movie, because you want to watch some action, you want to watch something with some action to it. But it was really funny. The local officials, they really don't stop trying. You know what I mean? It's like they're always trying to catch you in some entrapment shit. You know what I mean? Whether to get some extortion, they will let you probably do what you do, but the point is they're always behind it. And I can't see myself feeding anybody anything, any amount of money that I don't have or do have to give them, because the simple fact you're already extorting me already, you rapidly to a serious point, to the point where my mother was murdered by your extortion. You know what I'm saying? I can't see myself giving you anything because you owe me. You know what I'm saying? For 43 years of extorting me with your, infrastructure and lying and saying things that's not true. I can't. It's a moral stance with me. Morally, I do have morals. Even before I was a Muslim, I had morals. My mother raised me right as a Christian, and I'm not saying I was a perfect, individual, but I wasn't the worst. You know, and basically that's my stance is morally these infrastructures that work for the government, and they have no moral stance because you got public officials breaking all the rules. They're pimping the women more than the men out here like me, who need the money. They're pimping the women and consolidating them with the system to be able to bring the system something. The system don't need shit. They just need to do the system work as far as do what you do and quit worrying about what's in somebody else's pocket. That's the reason why the infrastructure is like it is now with the government, imploding because of the fact that they are, on the wrong side of the law with the government being no constitution, no judicial system, and no legislation. Wow, it's early, but I look at it and I try to do my best to go around a bit. But when they have everyone in their extortionist operation all in on everything, you tend to more or less become a individual that's dependent on itself. You can't trust anybody. I had, female, that I know, a long time ago, I used to date the girl, but it's been years since we did anything like that. But the point I'm saying is, she called me yesterday trying to show concern, and I'm like, dude, your concern is phony, But I'm gonna talk to you, and I'm gonna, thank you for calling me and checking on me and see how I was doing, but. I know it's all phony action. The only reason why you called me is because you wanted to get some extortion for you and your cop boyfriend, Darnell. I'm throwing him in there because the simple fact is he keeps trying to extort me. You know what I'm saying? And he's trying to extort me for Kim Hoots, but he's trying to use her. You know what I'm saying? And they don't understand. I know the allegiance that you have with each other. I really don't care about her and him being involved. He's a married man, but that's on her. You know what I'm saying? But she pretty much told me that. She's been dealing with him for years. And she pretty much told me that was a problem. I told her, any men out here, especially a cop, he's married. So therefore, if you start entertaining him and start, seeing him, then you're actually a homewrecker. You know what I'm saying? Because, I'm sure his wife is not approving of his activity, but when you're a cop, you get the chance to you see all the horrors and you see all the female that are available for you. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is, I'm not jealous about anything. Only thing we pretty much had in common was the fact that we might have went out, ate, and you know, uh, we never really went to movies because she really wasn't. She's not really an active female. You know what I mean? She is, but she isn't. We would go out, pop tags, go to stores and look at, trying to find bargains and deals and shit like that. We used to have fun doing shit like that. But even that, she stopped. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing else was the sex. You know what I'm saying? Intellectually, um, it wasn't an intellectual thing. I'm not saying she's, I don't like the girl, or I didn't like the girl, but she got a lot of shit with her. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I didn't like. You know what I'm saying? You can't bullshit the shitter. I got that from one of my mother's old friends, Miss Bernadette Cotton. She used to say that all the time. You can't bullshit the shitter. So the point I'm trying to tell, her is, I know you're trying to act concerned, but I don't believe you. You know what I'm saying? Because you knew my situation, and when I came over your house, you offered me something to eat, but it was so cold, and I mean, not once did you say, "Do you want a shower?" Did you not once did you say anything like that? It was, you were talking about you and your furniture and this and that. Who's paying for that? I know I'm not. The only thing you want from me is what you can get out of it. That's the reason why I cut you loose. I been knew that, but I tried to hold on to you as a friend, but when you were so involved with the cop, I had to let you go because I don't date. I don't not even date, but I don't even like talking to females that got cop boyfriends. I mean, even though he's married, he's still claiming you. You know what I'm saying? So I don't need that. I don't need that hassle. And plus, I know the reason why. He definitely is doing what he's doing is just to get extortion. From me, because the amusement was putting me in this situation, murdering my mother, putting me in this situation so I can do something crazy like Robert Byers allegedly done. Even though, to tell you the truth, what Robert Byers did, I don't really blame him. I don't. I really don't blame him one bit because they attacked his mother too. It seems like mothers is a thing that these people attack. Jews, he had a problem with Jews, and it's not. I mean, Robert was, a he was a racist, but like I said, me and Robert never threw a blow at each other. We said things to each other. You know, Robert was a grown man in his 6 years old body. I mean, I never, that was for me. That was an experience to hear, somebody that young talk so adult and serious about racism. He didn't lack at anything as far as that. But one thing I noticed that, he thought I wanted to beat him up, but I didn't. I just wanted to talk to Robert. I wanted to talk to Robert and say, Robert, let's form an allegiance on looking out for each other when it came to these Jews, because this Jew lady who was our teacher, she was very racist. And she used to, say some horrible things to him, but she used to say some even more horrible things to me, because, I was black. He was white and he had a little leverage, but he didn't have too much because to her, I'm not saying he is, but to her, she considered him not pure white. She called him trash white. And that was horrible to be calling a kid, you know what I'm saying? And she, called her Jew white pure. He wasn't, pure like their Jew white, but he's still white and they still favor him because he's white. But I'm the nigger and they all hate me, his white and her white. This is what she used to tell us every day, Mrs. Rosenthal, the woman he allegedly murdered. I'll say allegedly because I wasn't there. She was a very horrible woman. And, racist wise, these Jews, putting the Ross Perlman on my door, lying and saying that there was a Ross Perlman that owned the building. I did the investigation and I found out that the person that we said owned the building, but they just put together a figment of a imagination landlord and they made a name called Ross Perlman. And it led back to Scottsdale, Arizona, where the address was at a PO box. Now, I have a PO box myself, and I had to put it on my house so I can keep control of the address. And because it was lifted off of me in extortion by the community, trying to help the landlord who stole my royalties to make himself some extortion. And he purchased properties. He was a properties buyer for these extortionists here in Wilkinsburg and Pittsburgh. And that's all he did was go around and he bought a lot of property off of my money. And then they were extorting my mother, Mabel Gray, with the Mabel, Mabel Gray. Well, my mother's Mable. And I, had a protest, and I had criminal complaints going to the courthouse of Pittsburgh, common pleas about them extorting my mother and setting my mother up for murder because they were rapidly, extorting my mother, and they didn't care. When I told them about it, they just didn't do nothing about it. They just violated the Muslims' rights, man, and then murdered my mother. Let them get, they took her to the hospital illegally. There was nothing wrong with her, and they admitted her, and they just started treating her for what? To kill her. It was, my mother didn't have nothing. You see the healthy products at the vitamin shop. I put that in me and I put that in my mother. I kept my mother healthy. It's only when she got to the hospital, they admitted her as a healthy woman, but she was in there so long, and the government had to find something wrong to fuck her up and take her from me. And there was nothing wrong with her, and they just start treating her. And I told her not to, told them not to shoot her up because we got, religious beliefs. Because I'm a Muslim, and we're very careful about what we put into our body on government agents and different things like that. Because I was definitely against that COVID. That is a poison. There's 3 diseases in that COVID. If you get the serum and do an independent evaluation on it, you'll see that there's 3 different diseases in the COVID. The COVID shot is the killer. There was no COVID. The government just made that up just to have a reason to kill off the population because they knew you were in there doing crimes with them. So they had to chisel down the population on the people. But they found out that they couldn't kill everybody. but they chiseled down the population, making a lie saying it's COVID. The COVID was never a disease. Do you know what it really was? The 5G towers and 4G towers at that time uh, turned on the population. You need to watch the uh, uh, the research from the Italians. They found out the truth to COVID. In America, they tried to stop them from releasing their video that explained to you what it was all about. That video they tried to debunk in Facebook. Facebook is Fedbook. Mark. He owned it for years, but he owed me Facebook because he used a lot of my media for extortion. And he got caught when he went before Congress. That's what it was all about. He was in there using my media, but the government covers shit up, and they didn't say it was that because they didn't want to acknowledge me. So what they did was the government took Facebook. They took Facebook and turned it to Meta. And when they turned it to Meta, they ran Facebook. It's Fedbook. They use Facebook for investigations. When they're looking for somebody, they'll go to Facebook because everybody has a Facebook. It's Fedbook now. That's the reason why a lot of people don't like being on Facebook. And so is Instagram because it's owned by the same people, Mark. The government now, it's mine. It's really my Facebook because Mark owed it to me, but the government got them to extortionately turn it up, just like they did on my properties. Turn my properties over to them so they can say they own it. And I can't get anything, but you still owe me. It's still my property. Regardless if you take it or not, it's still my property. You can say, this was sold, that was sold. That's bullshit. You extorted it. And this is what the government has been doing for the last 43 years with me, is extorting every last dime out of me. One thing that, I know about extortion, I'm a seizure in extortion. I don't work around like you guys work around with that peanut shit. I seize on big levels, like I'm getting ready to seize everything from the government and take everything back that was mine. But you guys waste time with the illegal side of it, with the government. They're on the wrong side of the law. They have no constitution, no judicial system, and no legislation. How could you keep going with the government like that? I'm the only one that's saying anything, but I'm not the only one that knows about it. Everybody's getting paid hush money with the extortion to be quiet about it. But how can we, man? You don't have no laws. So how can you tell anybody what to do in this motherfucker? Cops can't tell you. They can't tell anybody anything anymore. You have no laws to govern over anything. And I'm the only one that's really saying that. You know how many cases are going to be turned over because of that? For the last 43 years, anybody that's prosecuted, anybody that's charged, prosecuted, or convicted by the government or any court system, they got to overturn it. It's not a new trial. It's a throw out. Because this is 43 years you've been rolling without no laws. It's like 43 years without no draws. You're just going to walk around. Well, I do know some females don't wear none, but, the point is, it's like there's three things missing. And I say 3 impeachments myself. Each one of those laws should be govern an impeachment for whoever's in charge. I figure like this, if Trump got 2 for turning people on the Capitol, you should get 3. Because what Trump did was treason. That's what he did. When he turned people on the Capitol, he told them to go up there and cause a ruckus. And they went up there. Cops literally took off work to go up there to do crimes and break in the Capitol. Now, if blacks would have done that, we'd have been strode all over the lawn of the Capitol. They would have made sure, oh shit, this is a good time to kill the niggers. And then because they attacked the Capitol. But Trump's people, they got smacked on the head for 18 months. That's it. 18 months, you broke into the Capitol. The same time they broke into the Capitol, they broke into my house. with their Gestapo tactics, because they was working in conjunction together, hating me and making sure that they got into my property to say that they broke into the White House. Racist people are weird. Duke people, that was a sure giveaway right there. Look at the dockets at the courts. The dockets at the courts will show the dates. Them breaking in my house is the same dates that they broke into the Capitol. And I look at it like they only got 18 months. You should get more than that. That's treason. And then, it's their people. They're going to take care of their people, even though they knew they was wrong. They still smacked them on the hand. 18 months is about the most they got. And Trump, he haven't served a day. And he told them to do that on the news. If I would have did that, or Jesse Jackson would have did that, or Sharpton would have did that, you'd have been making them accountable for that. Because they're black. But you're going to take care of your whites, right? It's not trying to make it no racist thing. I'm just trying to get you to look at the big picture. The big picture is that you say, do as we say, not as we do. So you can break the laws and you can break the rules, but we can't. I think not. Because if you have a government that's breaking the laws, look at the community now. They're all in your big extortion racket. You had to have the COVID to chisel down the population because you had so many people as witnesses knowing what you were doing in government with this extortion. You shouldn't have never brought the extortion to the public. That was foolish, man. Obama did that. Obama did that on his watch. He incorporated the extortion with the people. That's the reason why he's going crazy right now, because his extortionist networks are dwindling. The reason why he did what he did for the gays was not because he gave a shit about gay rights. I mean, he's gay, but the point is it's not that he gave a shit about gay rights. What it was he wanted the extortion from the gays and lesbians. That's the reason why he kissed the senator in front of his wife. Who would do that? If that wasn't a real picture, everybody tried to debunk the picture, especially him, after he did it. He tried to debunk the picture, but listen to it. Listen to it. This is an old investigative trick. Now, if it was a debunked picture to where it was fake, when he kissed the senator, his wife's face wouldn't have changed. But when he kissed the senator, she dropped her jaw all the way down to the floor, and she made such a horrible face, like she was shocked. That lets you know that the picture was real. You see, this is investigative work here. And that's how you tell that it was not a debunked picture. It was for real. And he tried to debunk it after he realized what he did. But the senator wasn't going to have it to where Obama, just passes that bill and gives him the bill without. What the senator wanted him to do was admit that he was gay and they had a relationship. And that was his way to do it. But, okay, what about your wife standing over there looking at that? Whether she knew or not that you were gay, you should have never done it in public in front of your wife. Because that kind of, knocked her off her pedestal a little bit. You're out here kissing men just to get extortion with the gays and the lesbians. Just, I'm not judging anybody. If you're gay, you're gay. But the point is it's not godly and it's not Allah's way. Because Allah does not believe in homosexuality. And God doesn't really either. Because who are you to tell God he made you a man and you saying you want to be a woman or something else? Bruce Jenner made that mistake. Now he wants to be a man again. Because he realized how he used to bang the women. You know what I'm saying? And maybe throw them over in the corner. You know what I mean? And now he's getting banged and thrown over in the corner. You know what I mean? So, you want to be back, you want to be back, you want to be that man that, get, but I seen that procedure on man, on how they do the sex change, man, to your penis. Man, no way. They sliced and diced the penis, man, and make that fake vagina of yours. And I say to myself, I don't judge nobody, but that's God's job. Who are you to say that you should be a man when he made you a woman? And who are you to say you should be a woman when he made you a man? That's arrogant, because you're talking about God's creation, and you're trying to debunk that and say your creation should have been the opposite of what God made you. Like God don't know what he's talking about, or he don't know what he's doing. You see what I'm saying? That's an arrogant person, you know what I mean, to take on God like that, to say, well, I'm a lesbian woman and I'm, okay. You feel you should be that, and nobody's knocking you about, what you should be or what you think you should be. But I know what God wanted you to be. He wanted you to be a woman or a man. And who are you to tell God that you should be the opposite of what he, wanted you to be? You know what it is? You ain't going to like it when I tell you what it is. What it is it's Lucifer. Lucifer wants to shun God at any level. So if he can get you to debunk God by saying, I shouldn't have been a man or I shouldn't have been a woman, he loves that. Because you're not hurting him. He loves embarrassing God. He loves that. And you're helping by saying that you should be something else besides who you are. Be woman, be man. But God didn't say you couldn't dip and dab and play with each other. But don't say that you should have been a woman when you know you were a man. Or don't say you should be a man when you know you're a woman. But, even Caesar's Rome was homosexual. Men went with men more than they did the women. That's the reason why those Greeks have a fetish for, going in somebody's butt. You know what I'm saying? But the point I'm trying to, and even the Aryan, they love that too. They love seeing that stupid look on your face afterwards. You've been violated as a man. You know what I'm saying? And there ain't shit you can do about it. Just like that. You be in jail. It's with the Aryan. It's either like this, and this might be a little harsh, but it's either shit on my dick or blood on my knife. This is how they roll. You know what I'm saying? So when you talk about going to prison, and I told you you're going to be going to the Aryan, if you're in there at Blaine and you're saying that you are white, and I closed that, and you're saying you're white, you're closing it as a white man. So that means that you cannot fight being black and say civil rights because you took the white deal to be white. What? You're a fool, man. I told you to keep some balance. Be good. Keep a little act of kindness with me would have been a long way right now. You could have fell back on me and I could have, helped you get through like the Matrix and drummed up an exit for you. But you did not do that, man. You stayed in there being pro-white and you're blacker than Nate. What the hell is wrong with you, man? Money is not everything, son. For you to sell your soul and sell out who you are, Blaine. Look what you did, man. You know what I'm saying? You don't have no exit for yourself, and you don't have no exit for the people that you're supposed to be looking after being a lawyer. There's ethical rules with you guys that even if a person's not your client, still you can't be in there doing criminal activity, bro. You're a defense attorney that debunks everything that you do. And you're caught in that position. And I told you to get out of that position, man. But you said I didn't know what I was talking about because you were getting more extortion from the whites when you told them. And when they heard me, they told you not to listen to me. So you started thinking about the money, and they was going to do what they was going to do to me, whether it was, kill me or not, like they did my mother. You didn't care. I know killing, when people don't even respond, there's something on your head that they done put on your head. They're going to kill you, like they did my mother. And all I'm saying is, with this came from the government, all the president's men and all the president's women. This is huge. This is bigger than all the president's men. You remember that? This is all the president's men and all the president's women. The whole cabinet, the whole Congress, everybody's in trouble. Because you broke those 3 constitutions doing this. Well, the 3 laws, constitution, judicial system, and the legislation, they're obliterated. You can't do anything with those. So how can you drive the country? The cops can't arrest nobody because there's no laws to govern them to arrest anybody. Everything is subject to be overturned for the last 43 years. People will be like my Capron, El Chapo. He'll be getting out of jail because he got set up. And then the main thing, and then the ISIS members, that they're no longer ISIS anymore. They're the holy disciples of the Lord. I changed the degree. So they're not ISIS or they're not the Taliban. And they didn't do all the things that the American government said they did. They just needed somebody to be the fall guys for the ISIS and Taliban bullshit. They named us ISIS and they named us Taliban because they threw me right in it. Every time there was something wrong in the Middle East, they had me right in the middle of it because I was family with them. So they looked at me as a troublemaker in the government that they were causing. That's the reason why they need their crazy shit. You see what I'm saying? Their crazy shit was a bunch of crazy lies. And I had to destroy their crazy shit. I got tired of it because I got even more crazier shit than they do. And that Taliban thing, that's gone. ISIS is gone. They're the holy disciples of the Lord. They haven't done anything in years. Anything. I mean, they were a band of misfits that would get together for photo ops. And what the government needed to do was have people, present and accountable for being ISIS and being Taliban. But they was, when people was poor in the Middle East and they ask you to get together and do things and they'll pay you some extortion or, whatever amount of money, and they got to feed their families, of course they're going to go out there to, and rally and say, yeah, we're the Taliban, this and that. But the point is it's a photo op for the government of the United States to have something to say that there was something wrong in the Middle East that they got to fix. They can never fix anything in the Middle East. The only thing they can do is do like Putin, fuck it all up again. Afghanistan, I don't really come down on you at all. You fought more than anybody that I can ever say out there in the Middle East, about something. You were being invaded because you were too close to the USSR, and you were being invaded by them because they didn't want the United States to gain that ground. That's the reason why they gassed you and did nerve gas on you in the 70s. I got to give you some, man, you fought, man, and nobody in the Middle East helped you. You out of anybody in the Middle East, I can't say a word wrong about you, man. You stood up to the powerful Russians, and they exterminated you, man, and just nerve gassed the whole thing. When they couldn't beat you, you was a bad motherfucker because you was burning their ass, But where they got you at is that nerve gas and those helicopters of theirs. They have those hovering helicopters that just come in and it was burning them. And nobody, and we seen it all on television. I remember it as a younger man, and we seen it all on television. The American did not help them at all. And their own Middle East did not even help them. Afghanistan, out of them all, I'll give more credit. Syria, they just really actually came along later and just really picked up the pieces. They didn't bother them like that because they wasn't as close to them They was close, but Afghanistan was right next door, so they couldn't have America take that ground because America would be their neighbor. So they had to take it. That's what that fight was all about with Afghanistan. Once Afghanistan is submitted, then that's when things got better for them, but they still was under Soviet rule. You understand? This is strategic warfare and how war can be horrible. You know, those Afghanis, man, I give you pride. Oh man, you out of anybody in the Middle East, you were the most bravest to stand up for yourself, man. You was in a losing battle with big Russia because America wouldn't help you. Because they have extortionist deals. Russia will give them extortion from the, once they get it, that's what they tell them. See, that's the reason why I don't like extortion. People get sold down the river over extortion. It's a nasty business. I prefer to do business. It's not even business. It's criminal. Business, you do business. And you don't have people in slavery. Extortion is slavery. You see, I try to educate you the best that I know from my knowledge. I want to do audiobooks and I have my podcast. I would like to do lectures and different things like that. I would like to go into the prisons and talk to some of the inmates, not to just tell them my side of it. I want to hear what they have to say so I can feed, and go back out in the world and maybe be their voice. I've been locked up before. Maybe not as long as a lot of people, but locked up is locked up. You don't want to be there. And they arrested me just for protecting my mother. That's it. Because they wanted to get me out my way so they can have her in the hospital and kill her. Because when I got out of jail, I went to the hospital and I asked for my mother. Don't you know they said my mother wasn't there? And I was told that that's where she'll be at. But they had her there as a white woman, the Mabel. You see what they did to me? It was Muslim. They violated my civil rights, my mother's, murdered her. Just for music, man. It's Caesar's thumbs up or thumbs down, man. That's why I had to get rid of that Illuminati shit. I'm Muslim. I'm not Illuminati anymore. You gave that to Jay-Z when he stole my certificate by Angela giving it to him, when Art Asti gave it to her to give it to me. So when you gave Jay-Z the permission to run around as me and say he's me and to collect extortion, Illuminati, that fucked me up and my mom. You got my mother killed with that shit. Nobody had no respect for me. No, when I told them stop, they went. It's like a girl saying, Obama's a rapist. It's like, I can imagine he done raped a lot of guys, unwillingly wanted to have sex with him because he had extortion over him. If they really tell the truth, they would really have a, sexual assault case. But the thing about it is, it's just like a woman, when she tells you to stop and you don't stop, they just kept going. Nobody listened to me. That was rape. They raped my life. I didn't ask for none of this. I didn't cause none of this. But they all dumped that shit on me. And they framed me, man. You know how it is to be framed? It's a hurt piece. Because everybody they done paid off to turn their back on you with your own money. With your own money. That's the reason why I want my money out their hands. They have too much power with my mother, with my money and my mother's money, because they extorted my mother with the Mabel, and that money was my mother's money from her being the Mable. And I told them that at the courthouse that's what they were doing. I filed criminal complaints about that. And I was going to sue everybody. They knew I had lawsuits. I went down there and did this myself for my mother, because they kept on bullying on my mom. Who bullies on your mom? But see, Robert Bowers understood because they bullied on his mom. You see how he handled it? You see how he handled it allegedly? That's how I wanted to do it. But if I did it that way, who was going to get me out and who was going to get Robert out? It's hard to fight when you're in trying to get out. So I had to stay out because it was a bigger picture. It was not just me getting violated, man. Our government means nothing with no rules, man. Biden and Obama went with no rules for 43 years, and you all allowed it. And I was screaming at the top of my lungs telling you, listen, man, we got a problem, man. There's no law. There's no rules. The Constitution was broken, the legislation was broken, and the judicial system was broken because of the Jay-Z deal. That took it off of the government being legal, and they start running on the wrong side of the law doing crime. Would somebody listen to me, man? The money's not worth it, man. We're talking about our country. You're going to turn your kids over to this shit because the only thing they're doing is grooming your kids to be extorters. Wouldn't you rather have your kids be business people? It's people that, did business with the public and have it done right. As a Sweet, I don't have no kids. I don't want my kids growing up in this shit. I'd rather not have any. If you're going to turn this country over to criminals, man. Now, I don't get me wrong. I'm not a squeaky clean motherfucker. But this is wrong, man. The way that Biden and Obama and Hillary and everything got this Jim Crow in here and this hate extreme with Trump, they're running our government into the ground, man. Especially Hillary with that Jim Crow shit. Everybody's in it, even you, white man. Because you got to extort for them to keep us oppressed, brother. Without you extorting and helping them, they don't have no power with their people. It just hurts. An honest man ain't shit no more. That's why everybody does the crime. Because everybody's doing it. Monkey see, monkey do, huh? If he jump off a bridge, you gonna go jump too? I mean, do you have a conscience or do you have any type of morality? I want to know, because if you do, where's that? Where's his? Where's that? Like West Coast. Where's his? Where's that? I don't see it. The only thing I see is hate for black people, hate for minorities, and hate for Muslim people even more. You really hate Muslim people, man. We don't even hate, Aryan as much as you hate Muslims. Look at me, man. I'm still being friends with my nemesis, Robert Bowers. It's because he was the only Aryan that I can say that was truthful to me. He told me who he was, and he told me he hated me for whatever reasons. But he never violently did anything to me. And he had an opportunity. I had an opportunity to do violence towards him, but I never did. I just wanted to communicate to Robert and connect with Robert to be able to get Robert to understand, man, I'm not your enemy, man. Look at your family, man. Look what my family did to me. Don't trust family, man. My family just sold me out like a motherfucker, man, and my mom too. For my own damn money, man. That's the reason why I have to take the power out the government's hand of handling my money. They got people, set to kill me, man. Locally, I'm not worried about it. because I got some of the worst killers in the world. I know killing. I'm not afraid of that. And I'm not afraid of dying. Not saying I want to, but I'm not going to back down because they killed my mother. And she was somebody. You overlooked her like she was some trash, man. I can't get over that, man, because my mother was really a good mother. I can't let it go. I swore to her that I would get this right. I wanted to do it while she was alive. But these motherfuckers, there's some killing motherfuckers in here. And your people are some ugly motherfuckers, man. Mine too. They got me with that fucking Aryan shit. The invisible empire. The empire system like punk motherfuckers. And they killed my mother. They took guardianship off of me. Just to kill her. I can't get over that, man. I understand perfectly what Robert Byers did, man. If he did it, I do. I wanted to. God knows I wanted to. But I had to stay right because my mother raised me right. And I couldn't let her go out like that. I couldn't. So I had to man up on it, man. As much as I didn't want to. I wanted to just go with her too. We've been partners so long, man. It hurts bad for them to get. That's why I had to take that Dr. Dre's ass out. And my people in my neighborhood too. They was all in on it, man. I don't like being like this, man. But you don't know the load I'm carrying, man. I'm carrying the whole world on my shoulders, man. I'm not complaining about that. But this American shit is some hate ass shit. You motherfuckers are some hate motherfuckers. That's why I don't believe in that red, right, blue bullshit. It's for you whites. It's not for us. I'm Native Cherokee, man. I'm really Native Cherokee on one side. And it didn't mean nothing. And I'm black. And I'm Muslim. What? I see people come and just jump right ahead of me. And I have to speak up and tell them, look, I'm next, man. You just can't walk in front of me because America lets everybody do it. They don't acknowledge me, man. They took everything from me in extortion, and they think I'm going to take it. I'm going to take you for every goddamn thing you got. Because that's all you ever taught me, man. Is to be an asshole like you. You didn't teach me no values. You didn't teach me nothing. But to be a killing motherfucker. Because you got Dr. Dre in your killing unit, motherfucker. And I'm going to kill that motherfucker for killing my mother. And El Chapo sends his regards. Because he got beef with you too, motherfucker. You lied on him. You set him up, man. You set everybody up, man. The government, man, ain't nothing but a big organized crime racketeer organization. If you got Dr. Dre or Jay-Z on your side, you're a criminal, motherfucker. I can't take this shit. I'm not going to give up on a damn thing. But I can't take this motherfucking shit no more. I don't want to hear that goddamn lie. These people all these people here are nothing but liars. They use my money to pay these people to kill my mother. There was Chinese doctors in there from the Chinese family in there killing my mom. Japanese from the Yakuza in there killing my mom. And Greeks from the Illuminati in there killing my mother. And I couldn't do a damn thing because they acquired phony guardianship with these extortionist attorneys. Sarah Morrison and her extortionist Kirkpatrick and all these different judges, they all extorters, man. Are we going to let the extorters win, or are we going to let the business win? What do you want your kids in? What do you want them in? You want them in the extortion, or you want them to go to business school? What do you want? Because you're turning it over to extortion. If you turn this over to your kids, do you want your kids to grow up to be a criminal? You're teaching them that now with the babysitting jobs. It's prostitution. It's, oh, man. The government got this shit so fucked up. That is child prostitution. That's child sex trafficking. Dr. Dre hooked that deal up with the Mexicans. They do any and everything to get money. You're dumping nothing but blood money into our economy, giving them the money for the babysitting jobs, and you got me paying for it. You got me paying. If I was fucking with them kids, you would be arresting me. But you can pimp the kids, and nobody's arresting you. And you're using my money, paying for that filthy ass shit. Obama is an abomination. He claims to be Lucifer's son, and I believe it. If you talk to his pastor will tell you he told him that. I'm not out here just fucking around, man, like these people said. I'm trying to get my sovereignty back, and I'm trying to get my wealth back, and I'm trying to get my properties back. They sent me on the crime trail so many different times, and if you don't know what the crime trail is, ask the Cherokee. Ask them what the crime trail is. I'm tired of this, man. I'm here to end you, government. You got to go with your corruption and your racketeering and your sex trafficking with kids. You got to go. And I don't care what it takes, but I'm going to bring you down, man. You're not going to murder my mother and get away with it. You're not. I proved that you did that because you were caught up in my mother's legacy so many different times. You can't say you didn't murder my mother. Locals or government. Forgive me for being emotional, but it hurts, man. I carry this load every day. And I look at these ignorant ass people in here. These girls got these babies and they trying to get me to pay for their babysitting job. You're a whore because you're whoring out your kid and someone else's too to get profit. That's dirt money you got. They'll give you, if I pay your babysitting jobs, then I'm putting good money in the economy of New Mexico because my money is coming from the Federal Reserve. The government has control of it. They won't even give me my own money. And if this is what they're doing with my money. They're paying for the babysitting job with my money. And that's child sex trafficking in Mexico. And then on top of that, if they give them $100, they'll give them $200 back. But they'll give them $100 of good money, of my money, but they'll give them $200 of dirt money. And this is what the government's been doing, putting it back into the economy. And we got all that shit money in our economy. The banks, they cringe because nothing resonates right. No numbers resonate right in their bank. They're so used to it. The government's talking about they'll fix it, but it's just getting worse. My cleaning system would have been a lot better. Boom, one shot, it's over with, and the economy is clean. Don't you dare get caught doing anything wrong, messing it up, bringing dirt money back in our economy. But you won't listen to me. You listen to that stupid ass motherfucking Dr. Dre who's controlling my money, and Jay-Z and Obama. Get that bum out of here, man. Obama doesn't know nothing but extortion and murder. He murdered my mother. He was in that hospital. And he murdered a few other people that died around at that time suspiciously in that hospital, because they look at Dr. Dre used the doctors for his killings. He used the doctor for Michael Jackson. He killed Michael Jackson. He killed Michael Jackson. He killed a lot of people in Hollywood. He killed Patrick Swayze. He had cancer, but he was curable. Farrah Fawcett, Van Halen, Tom Petty. I'm naming you white ones, but there's black ones. But I want you to understand who he's been murdering all these years. He absorbs their assets in extortion. He keeps them in extortion so he can do that. James Brown, Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, Prince, Michael Jackson. These are some big black name stars. Whitney Houston. Bobby Brown ended up with everything, and he's the one who got the girl on drugs. Ain't that something? And the daughter, because the daughter, Bobby Brown had the daughter murdered. Because he knew he would be next in the line. The daughter, there wasn't, Whitney's own family didn't even get anything. This extortion shit got to stop, man. I apologize for I don't apologize. I shouldn't have to apologize for being emotional about something that was horrible. So I don't apologize. I just say it's something you will experience. Hurt and pain. If you haven't experienced it yet, you will. It came close to home when they murdered my mother. They didn't have to do that, man. She was a good woman. She was a good Muslim woman. She was a good Christian. You didn't have to do that, man. You wanted to get a reaction from me to have me do some crazy shit. You still don't have it. I won't give it to you because I know that's what you want. You're not giving me what I want, so I'm not giving you what you want. What I want is freedom out of your Jim Crow hell. That's what I want. And all of my belongings and money, property, and everything of my mother's and mine's back that you stole. That's what I want. And I want you jailed for premeditated capital murder too. I'm coming hard at you, man, because I have to pull teeth and I have to go through a lot. You took my mother's life, man. I'm not going to let you get away with that, Jew. And I'm not going to let anybody else get away with it either. But you Jews, you're going to pay for that Ross Perlman shit. You are. You, more than what you know, we pretty much own Hollywood. Everything you own, we own, because you sunk my money into everything. Now I will predatorily take from you, because you predatorily take from people. You Jews hoard everything. Nobody can get shit. Look at Spielberg. I'm gonna tell you one thing. I'm gonna make an example. The reason why I know the Jews get everything. Now I do look at the stars, everything. I look at the stars when it comes to what they're worth and all that. And I found out that Mr. Eastwood is only worth $225 million. Clint Eastwood. And with his achievements in his career, that was an insult for me to find that out. And Mr. Cosby, he was worth over $500 million before he went to jail, but he's worth only $4 million now. So that means that they took over $100 million off of him, keeping him incarcerated. It was all about extortion. Pennsylvania is the biggest extorters. That girl that looks like Howard Stern, she lied. Every white girl that I know and black girl is a pill popper. He gave her pills. She told him to get him pills. Get her pills. You know, women lie. When they're caught, they'll get out ill, easy, little, you know, and people believe them because they're women. Look, so I couldn't believe that Mr. Eastwood was only worth $225 million. I mean, 22, not 200, 2,025,000. He was worth that. Mr. Cosby was worth over 500 million before he went to jail. He's only worth 400 now. So he lost like 100 and some odd million. That was extortion. Hollywood's, man, see, that's one of the things I'm going to change. I want you to get rich. I don't want you to be poor in there. Because that's poor for being Hollywood. There's no way. Them Jews, man, they are some extortionist motherfuckers. Now, I looked at those two careers, and then I looked at Seinfeld. And when I looked at Seinfeld and seen how much he was worth, I couldn't believe it. He was worth 950 million, almost $1 billion. How the fuck he get to 950 billion? Because he's a Jew. They hoard everything. That's where your money's going at in Hollywood, them Jews. And I'm going to stop that. Everybody going to get their fair share. No more extortion, man. You're going to get what your worth is. That was an insult. Mr. Eastwood, all those movies he did, man, he had some box office hit. 225 million is just a franchise for him for one movie. How the fuck he only ends up? Man, he should be worth close to $1 billion or even over $1 billion by now. And Cosby should be like a couple billion. Seinfeld, he only had that one show. How the fuck he get up to 950 million? I mean, it was a funny show, not because of him. His cast really made him who he is. You know, because they did all the work. He was okay funny, but Seinfeld ain't no belly black. I mean, Michael, his stand-up comedy is more funnier than Seinfeld. You know, Michael, the one that called everybody nigger in the audience and everything. And everybody, the blacks was really, they was upset. He called us niggers, and he said this and he said that. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm saying, why are you mad? You must be really a nigger then. Because nigger means the person who calls the person a nigger is the nigger. Look it up, Google. So why are you mad? Blacks get all mad. Oh, you didn't call me a nigger. You really are if you're upset. You shouldn't be upset. The person who called you the nigger is the nigger. That's the reason why when Robert Byers used to call me that when I was a kid, Robert Byers, nigger, he would make a song out of it. And I would never get upset because he used to tell the teacher he would never get upset by me calling him a nigger. It's because for some reason, when I was a kid, I knew what it meant. And it didn't really bother me. And then when I started getting older, I started learning what it really means. It means the person who calls you the nigger really is the nigger. So why are you getting upset? Don't beat the man up. Don't beat the white guy up. Just say, well, yeah, okay, nigger, you are the nigger. And keep it moving. You should never get upset about that. Get some etiquette and learn, man. Besides, you listen to the rap videos, you know, and all that bullshit you put in your head. Learn something. And then you won't get upset, kids, when somebody call you a nigger. All you do is just blow it off and keep going and say, yeah, you're really the nigger. Even Michael Byers' family member, you know, the Coneheads, they don't even like it. The Kluxes, they don't like the fact that I deciphered that and I put it out there. So they can't call us niggers no more without them being the nigger. So we stole their hurtful word they like to use towards us. Nigger. Don't get upset about it. If you're not the nigger, you're not the nigger. Because because somebody says you are. That's why the meaning means whoever calls the person the nigger is the nigger, really. Look it up, Google it. And then you can tell some of your hateful friends that you have in school, this is what the word actually really means. You are the nigger. They'll be very upset about that. I want to keep you to where you are educated with the truth, not the lie, not the whitewash, the blackwash. And the blackwash is the truth. The whitewash is the lie. You being the nigger, that's a lie. That's a whitewash lie. You not being the nigger is the blackwash truth. You're putting black back on it with the truth. Facts. They can't beat facts. They don't like you when you're smart. They hate you. They hate me. That's why they hate me. I don't let nothing they throw at me, drugs, women, control me. I was like that before I became Muslim. And I can, I told females that I can outlast you if not having sex. And the women said, yeah, all my ex-women said, yeah, sure, whatever. But there's one in particular, she told me to wait for her, and I waited for her 13 years. Didn't let nobody touch me. And even to the day, I'm still not letting nobody touch me. Not because of her. It's because I don't want none of these hand-picked people that these establishment infrastructure cops and everybody picked together and just throw at me. These women done been with everybody. If they do that to me, they done it to a lot of other people. Why do I want that? If I can't have who I want, I don't want who you're giving me. I'm not, and then you want me to pay for that? You already extort me already for these itches. So, no thanks. I pass. This is my daily bread. I just wanted to touch base with you this morning. I hope that you all had a good rest last night. And I hope that you rose up this morning to be able to listen to me. Allah be praised and God bless you in whatever you do. Keep the focus true. Don't be out here faking nothing. Because we got enough fake, phony people in the rap industry, in the movie industry. They love to extort who you are so they can be you. You think that you want to be them, but they want to be you. They steal your lives every day with extortion. And they go back to Hollywood and portray you the way they want to portray you. If you were white, they make you black. If you were black, they make you white. So keep your identity and quit selling it with extortion. Assalamu alaikum. I'll talk to you again today.